Alright, can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a very pretty baboon.
Yeah. Did it change?
Ah, monkey.
So I decided to make a bank. I called it MR Bank because it's my initials, and from my initials, I created like I guess an idea of a bank, and the idea is a bank that works with businesses more than your average bank. So why did I choose to create a bank? Well, I think it's pretty in line with FDM Group's kind of views and needs of what they want from their consultants. I think it puts everything together that we learned quite nicely in one big package, and it makes a thorough use of database manipulation. So I have a use case diagram here, and basically what you could see is what the user can do. He can log in. Once he logs in, he can go to all of his different accounts. When you go through a loan, if you don't have one, you've got to apply. You've got an admin that can basically confirm appointments, confirm loans, and the user can do, your average bank functions, I guess. So really wanted to replicate basically what all of the main things that a real bank would do. That's basically what I was trying to accomplish. So we've got a class diagram here. Basically pretty simple. You have a user that you have one loan account for now. You have one savings account and one primary account. Those will have multiple transactions for each account. A user can have multiple appointments and multiple receptors. This is the EID. Basically shows how the entities relate with each other. And yeah. Got a bit of a hardware diagram here as well. So I wanted to send my admin through a different portal. And the user through like security and all of that stuff. So I've actually got two portals, and I've used Thymeleaf for the front end for the user, because that's a bit more high fidelity front end for the user, and I used Angular for admin, basically just to learn a bit about it, and Angular seemed like a easy way to knock out a simple UI. So I've got some wireframes here for basically establishing how some of my pages might look. And this covers most of the pages. Some will change a little bit depending on the form sizes. So again, just what I used for front end. I've got basically why I used them. Thymeleaf I thought was pretty cool because it has a lot of nice functionality in it. You can do if statements, you can do for each loops, so it just makes it easier to kind of show things when they kind of exist, and for each thing that exists, I guess. And Angular, again, it's just easy to set up for a quick UI. I mean, I heard that if HTML was built for web design, then it would be called Angular, and I think that's what the developers at Angular were going for. So I'll demonstrate the bank now. Just give me a second to set a couple of things up. So here's the bank. Basically, start off by just signing in. Make a quick user. You can share your password. For demonstration purposes, I'll just make 2 users real quick. So if I try and make the same one, it'll tell you that it already exists. So here's basically the user front page. I'll basically make a couple deposits into the primary account. I'll drop a couple into the savings as well. It's not really necessary for what I want to demonstrate. I'll do a couple withdrawals. Basically what you have now is all of the information for your account. You can sort through it all. You can add a recipient. So for the account number, what I'll do is I can look at the account numbers on my database, and basically, let's say I want to send this guy some money. Send him $50. You can see the balance has gone down. And again, it'll come up in your descriptions, in your list of transactions, and basically you can see that the other user has obtained the $50. You can also transfer between accounts. So we've transferred between accounts. So you can apply for a loan. Let's say a home loan. $10. Yes, I want to apply. It's probably when you apply for a loan with a bank, they might want to do an appointment with you. So I'll set an appointment. So basically now I'll just go to the admin portal. So here's my admin portal. And actually I need to, in my database, I just need to quickly give the user role of admin to, I think that would be rude. Actually, he's the one that's made the, it doesn't really matter, but it would make sense to do this. So I'm now in the admin portal and I can see all the users, all their loans. Basically, I can confirm their loan. I can confirm their appointment. I can see all the users' accounts. I can enable and disable them. So now once this user comes back, so just log out. So this user will now have a loan account. It's 20% more than basically what they've loaned, and you can see his primary balance has gone up. And then I can basically 12,000. So if I deposit 12,000 bucks, the loan account disappears, and I think that's about it. So I've got the profile page as well. You can adjust some of your stuff. And that's about it. Just hopping back to the presentation now, talk about some of the stuff I struggled with and whatnot. So basically what I struggled with, well, I believe if you're challenging yourself with, a decent project, then basically most things should be a bit of a battle. So basically every step of the way was a bit of a struggle. Nothing was too easy. TDD was definitely quite a big struggle because just stubbing all of the different methods for Spring, security and whatnot was just a little bit new to me. Back end to front end data transmission, I used 2 different front end services basically, and that did cause a little bit of confusion, but kind of worked it out in the end. So what I would improve on, so in the mobile layout, it does work. All of the forms will be in a good place. I probably should have shown it, but yeah, it works. But I would have to move things around for it to be to my liking, which would basically take quite a while. So I would like to basically edit it customly so it looks good on a mobile phone. And I think a lot of banks and stuff these days are actually going to mobile apps, just because when you instead of like having everything automatically resized, if you do everything by yourself, you can make it look a lot nicer. So I would have wanted to put a bit more time into that. Some of the UI, like it's pretty good, but didn't have too much time to do it. It was a full stack project, so usually I'd spend a bit more time on UI, do some sketches, some wireframes, and then things are kind of sometimes in the wrong place depending on how big the page is open. And the admin portal, of course, but I mean the admin shouldn't really need any type of cool looking UI. And my TDD, yeah, of course I would improve on. So additional functionality that I was thinking of adding was basically doing a bit more work on the loans, adding some per annum loans that kind of increase over the years as it goes by. Chuck in some withdrawal limits. But the thing is, with all of these things, I would have to create feedback and error message cards, and that would just take quite a while, I think. So I didn't really go for it. I thought credit card registration would be a cool thing to do, but again, that would be pretty time consuming. And that is it for my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Woo!
Very good.
Very splendid.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. I guess I have a couple of questions. The first one's the logo. Did you design that yourself, presumably?
Yeah, I designed it myself.
Awesome. It looks really nice. Yeah, the UI is very impressive, so good job there. And it's pretty good functionality as well. With the account numbers, did you create your own sequence as to how they, I guess, are created or generated?
So it's a random number, and then it'll basically get +1, just so none of them are identical, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So they are generated, but not in the most sophisticated way, I would say.
Mhm.
It could definitely be done better, but for an account number, you can go pretty deep into that as a conversation, I think, on how to make them all different and how to maybe even. Well, I'm not sure what a real bank would do with their
Mhm.
account number, to be honest. It would require a bit of research, I think, on my part to really figure out what exactly I would do if I wanted to spend the time to actually implement it the right way.
Yeah. Awesome.
You
Any other-
mentioned a lot of things that you struggle with. Like you mentioned all the major things you struggled with. Was there anything that you hit a wall against, and it took you quite a while to get through that, or were they all about the same?
Hit a wall.
Like something that really stopped you in your tracks. You had to spend a lot of time
Yeah,
to try and
I
fix it.
understand the question. Hmm. Mainly, I think, the hardest part really was in the very beginning. So once I understood how everything kind of works, what Spring really does for me, and how I can incorporate, HTML, CSS, communicate with that stuff. Once it became clear on kind of how things work, just doing, the first thing, which was like the deposit and getting that to work. After that, basically everything kind of made sense. And
Yeah,
I think really the challenge was just at the beginning. So I've done a lot of projects with, games. I've done one website similar to eBay, but I didn't use the same technology as this. I actually used I used MVC and all of that, but it was just a bit different. So just the way it was done. I definitely didn't use Spring for it. So Spring was something quite new to me, and it was just basically getting through the learning curve. And after that, I felt pretty at home with what I was doing. So
yeah. Nice. Well done.
Richie, any questions?
I can't think of any right now. I'm
Alright.
trying my best though.
think that's everything then.